My name is Emily Teubner. I am here from WRSU FM New Brunswick with Parson James, and we are going to be talking a little bit about what's going on in his career right now. So, first question, tell me about the process of creating a vision, writing, and recording Bigger. And like, what was it like collaborating with Stan Walker again?
Oh, so I just got chills actually because the song I wrote it actually 2 years ago. So I wrote it with a friend of mine called Michael Jade, and he is so brilliant, so sweet, and yeah, we wrote it based off of an idea that he had started with another guy called Ryan Lewis, who does all Macklemore stuff. So I was such a fan of Ryan Lewis that I was just like geeked out that like there was like these chords that he had done. So I was like, oh, but yeah, so I started writing Bigger. Bigger for me, the initial writing process was, I was just thinking about all the, at the time I was just like heavy on my heart thinking about all the kids and how I felt as a kid growing up and thinking that there was no life outside of the box that I was, or the bubble that I was in, because, my town felt so suffocating. And so it's sort of this song to that kid that, that is, not like other people, and that for me it was me being gay and mixed race, um, and just because the community thinks so small around you, why do you have to think so small? It could be bigger. That's kind of where that came from. I didn't really have anyone to tell me that when I was a kid, so I wanted to make something that you know that I could do that for for someone else. So to flash forward 2 years, me, I have a really long-standing like romance with New Zealand. So I have been going there every year for like the last 5 years, a couple times a year. I have so many beautiful friends there. Sorry, FedEx guy. So many beautiful friends there, and one of them being Stan, who we worked in 2017 together on Tennessee whiskey, and then my his label rep is she's the mother of my godson. So we and her went on a trip in January this year to a place outside of New Zealand. Just me and her had like a girls' weekend, and we were just catching up on life and all that sort of stuff. And she was saying how much Stan needed, some inspiration or whatever. And so she was like, "Do you have anything to play that maybe would inspire him?" And I just played Bigger, and then then Stan got bigger, and then his reaction was full tears. He called me crying, and he was like, "This is means so much to me." And so he rewrote some of it and made it make more sense for him. And yeah, and then he had a book come out, and then like it just made sense to put it with the book. And like then we had his version, which is I think #1 still in New Zealand on their radio, and then our version, which just came out, which I'm just so glad that that I got to still be a part of it on the vocal end as well as the writing end. So yeah, it was amazing. And Stan's one of the greatest humans in the world. So
Oh, that's so great. It's so cool how like the collaborative process happened
yeah,
in these 2 years. Yeah.
it's always so different too. So it keeps it exciting.
Um, so earlier, like right before that, you released High Tide, Low Tide, and that really tells a story about like empathy and like putting other people before yourself. And like, how has this year changed you and your relationship with empathy and like putting other people's needs before your own?
I think that I just wasn't honest about it before. Like I knew that I've been drained a lot of times, and a lot of years. My mom has always, and friends around me, like you care too much about you care too much about people, or you care too much about things. Like, why aren't you like taking care of yourself? You're not getting any sleep because you're thinking about something else that's not even your problem. Um, and then this year, meeting someone that inspired that song, like it just put it into perspective, like how much I was giving and what I wasn't getting back. And I have this problem with like feeling selfish, but then like I'm like, damn, I've never been selfish. So it's maybe something I should try, like at least like take a bit of time for myself and pull back a bit. So I think that my relationship with empathy is like, I'm glad that I have it. There's definitely beauty in being empathetic, and I think that that's why like I'm an artist, and I think that I'm writing songs because I can feel what people are feeling and like kind of like be that vessel for people through song. So that it's not something I want to never have, but I think that when it comes down to my personal life and relationships with the other people, I have to be super aware and create boundaries. And I've never created boundaries before, but I'm finding myself like and they're not hard, harsh boundaries. It's like, I just like, okay, I got to say no sometimes. I can't heal the world or save everyone, and a lot of times I don't even know. Even when things were opened up, my friends always made jokes where I'd just like, if we were out at a club or something or a bar, 30 minutes in, they're like, where is he? And I'm in the corner, like talking to someone that's decided to give me their entire life story, and I'm helping them through it. So yeah, it's just boundaries and protecting my energy too, I guess.
Yeah. Empathy is like, it's like a superpower, but you gotta hold it in sometimes. Yeah.
There's no pros and cons with everything. Yeah.
Mhm. So, yeah, I've seen you've been staying busy and connecting with your fans on Instagram with like the Instagram reels and the memes and like your cocktail video
Yeah.
with JoJo.
I'm
How,
literally wearing her shirt right now.
oh my gosh. Um, so, other than online, like how have you been handling this pandemic? Like, and have you taken up any new hobbies or any new like lifestyle changes?
Well, yeah, pandemic wise, at first when it started, probably everyone was in the same boat. I was like, this is gonna be cool. Like, we're gonna like, I don't know, have fun for the next like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And then that quickly turned around. It was something else. Um, I at first was going through a lot of anxiety, aimlessness, and like weirdness, and I just felt stuck and like not motivated to do much of anything. Um, and I just like had to break that cycle. Of course, couldn't even see people really, so I decided to start just what I used to do. Like I used to always go jogging or whatever, and like something that simple. Then I got a car, so I was like, okay, driving. Let's see, and then driving became like the most therapeutic thing in the world. Now, like, before everyone in LA just complains about traffic, and I was one of those. I was always like, oh God, I hate it. Like, driving anywhere takes like forever. But like during this whole thing, like there's rarely any traffic. Going to like Malibu is such a great, easy thing to do, which is like crazy to say, but you just driving and like looking and taking in nature and appreciating the outside and just appreciating like, I don't know, it offered me like, or made me just look at, it's made me look at the world in such a different way. Um, and also like I started training, like just working out and just like trying to like challenge myself on like lifestyle eating habits, because I definitely didn't care at first in the pandemic. So um and yeah, and now I'm being able to see my little bubble of friends that I have. So like that's why Joanna was able to come here, and like I have like a little circle, and we are exchanging books, and we're like just keeping each other motivated. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, I think that I've had a huge group of associates, like so many people around when things were open, and now this, you realize like who your core is, and like even more so than ever. And I've just been just appreciative of it. Yeah.
That's so true. Yeah. Finding your core. That's
Yeah,
so
and I'm
good.
trying to get better at Instagram. I don't know anything about TikTok. Like I did the other day, I did the WAP dance, but I will never upload it.
Oh my God. I think it's in everyone's camera roll, and like we're just like have
Yeah.
it, but we're not gonna post
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we can't.
Yeah. You're real with the fly. That was good stuff.
Oh my God, yes. Actually, it was weird. Somebody that like somebody I have not talked to in like years. Like, she's an older lady. She messaged me and she's like, "Hey, I know we haven't talked in so long, but I just had a dream that maybe you played Stole the Show while the fly was on Mike Pence's head. I think it'll be great." And I was like, "Hey, nice to talk to you. Thanks for that idea."
Oh, there you go. That's so funny. So, so as a biracial member of the LGBTQ community, like, how do you find yourself speaking to your audience and like being able to use your talents to help?
Yeah, I mean, I think that more than ever this last year, of course, this year, like, been more outspoken than ever. I've always been outspoken, and I've always been an advocate, and I've always tried to use my music and in a way that could be viewed as very much self-celebratory and full of self-love. A lot of people don't even know that I'm mixed race, which, whatever. So I think that, complexion comes into play and all that sort of stuff. And um, but yeah, more than ever, I'm just trying to align myself with causes and things that I believe in, and get my music aligned. Get my music aligned in the same way. Like, do as many performances, things that I can do that would shed light on who I am, how I identify, and those that are just like me identify as well. Um, I think it's important to, now more than ever, I think, just as an artist, to use your voice to reflect the times. So whatever I can do, there's music that I've been writing. There's a song in particular that I'm thinking of that I really harp on and I really touch on complexion and what it feels like to, like, what it's felt like to be, a person of color. And I think that, yeah, I'm just trying to tap in and lean in, and I feel motivated and inspired, and like I feel like a duty to do more and say more, to make sure that everyone feels inclusion when they're listening to my material. So
You've done a really, really great job infusing your gospel vocal background and then also like taking that electro pop like style. And do you ever like see yourself stepping out even farther out of the box and producing something with a whole new style?
yeah, and that, I mean, I think that's the goal. I haven't even been able to put out my like debut album yet, right? So, which is like, I'm an overthinker, perfectionist, and all that sort of stuff. And I've made so many changes in the last few years that, what's inspired me. And I'm just excited, I think, as an artist, to, for me, the challenge is going to always to have evolution and to never do anything that's the same, which a lot of artists probably have that same sentiment. But uh, I listen to so many different types of things, and things that like inspire me to the point of tears or chills, that are so far left for me, that I want to lean into and do. The label doesn't necessarily want you to like be like all the time like, okay, wait, well, we got to focus here. I'm like, well, what about a James Blake type of song, something like that. So yeah, I am so excited, and I don't know, grateful that I have the ability to even play around with sounds and inspirations and whatnot. I think High Tide, Low Tide is a sonic shift for me. It does incorporate some familiar sounds that like you've heard from me in the past, but I made an effort with like these live instruments and like this very soulful, funky Amy Winehouse, Gnarls Barkley sort of vibe that I want to even push further. I want to get a bit weirder, and I have with some of the upcoming material. So yeah, I'm excited. I there's so many lanes I'd like to exist in, and I think that there's enough space for everyone to do so. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, you don't have to stay in just one lane. Yeah, and I'm so excited.
Now, especially now, I feel like listeners just, you can have a artist with an album that like, maybe 4 songs don't even sound like anything that, the first single sounded like or whatever. So yeah.
That's so good. I'm so excited. Yes. So other than that album in the works and like the new music coming out, what can your fans expect from you for the rest of 2020? Is there anything up and coming?
More content, live performances in the way that we can do them. But very excited about that aspect. For me, the live aspect is the most important part of the whole thing. Like, studio is great, writing is great, and I love doing it. It's the most emotional part, though. When you're on a stage, you get that like release, and then you get that energy right back. So I'm just excited to sing all these new songs out loud instead of like just in my car by myself, So and to share them in really unique ways. There's so many cool options and opportunities now for how we can deliver live streaming music. So there's that. There's also like there's something coming soon with an extension of High Tide, Low Tide. So I'm excited about that. I can't really say, but that's sooner than later. And yeah, it's just so much more new music. By the end of the year, there's another single, and then into next year, there's going to be the EP, and the EP goes into the album. So I hope you guys don't get sick of me. There's so much to.
I get sick of it. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. I had so much fun talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.